something a particular like one particular story that defines a particular point in your life, right? Like there, like
What is a massively maybe the first time you got a guitar?
I was at an arts and crafts festival when I was like 5, and there were these weird Egyptian sphinxes, and the guy who was running the booth said if I touched it, it would curse me, and of course I touched it. So my life's been pretty much spiraling downhill since then.
I believe everybody's life has been spiraling downhill since 5.
Did you all touch that sphinx too?
The Sphinx of aging and crippling depression.
That was my favorite sphinx to touch, to be honest. What are we?
My favorite's the sphincter.
chocolate starfish, anyone?
Keep on rolling,
Should,
baby.
should I start it?
Who's
No.
gonna tell a story?
That's so. Can you? Because let's not do something that vague, right? Because one, that pigeonholes us for any stories about your childhood now, because now you've just opened it, and also it's going to be really boring or hard for you to tell it, and also possibly boring for the people, right? So
Right. Yeah. If
So-
you pick a specific instance, you can give us specific details. Right.
So when you were a child
what makes a
molested-
good story.
When I was a child molester?
when you were child molested,
Oh.
when you got your guitar, when you touched and you and your boy buddy showed each other your pee-pees.
Actually, I've never been child molested.
Whoa.
Although me and my young male friends did play this weird doctor game with our penises.
Correct. Absolutely. Once upon a time, you may have peed on each other to stop a really bad jellyfish sting when you were 4 or 5 years old.
I can add that in.
No, yeah. Is there something?
And then his mom walked in. I could talk about when I started playing guitar. I don't know if it's
Would it
very
be better
interesting,
if we
though.
framed it in a way that, like, Larry is asking you something? Like, Larry's like, dude, what about this? And then it goes into it, like...
That's a good idea. And then it could be like, what?
Almost like an interview, but not really, but, like, just, like... It makes it kind of feel like the podcast is just us talking to each other, as opposed to, like, us making a podcast, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Larry's just like, hey, man, I've been curious about when you started guitar, and then you're like, oh, yeah, like, okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm trying to think of.
And
Sometimes I have conversations with people during the day, and it reminds me of a story. It just pops in my head that I could be like, oh, I could tell this right now, but they don't know me, so why would I tell them that story?
Right.
You know,
Right.
like,
That's the difference between socially inept people and socially fluent people, right?
Yes.
Instead, people start to go, yeah, that reminds me of the time when me and my daughter did this and this, and you're like, this is totally unrelatable to me. Like, I was not there. I was not at the zoo with you and your daughter. I don't even know who your daughter is.
Can you
Why
bring
are
me my
doing
water?
Yeah.
What's a daughter?
this? Yes. Can I just get those fries unsalted, please?
Do you remember your first date?
My first date?
Yeah,
Day.
date.
The first
My
day.
first day?
Yeah, your first day in school. No,
Uh,
I don't
just
remember that. You
no.
can-
Just day. First date.
My first date?
Mhm. I mean,
Like my first real date?
yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
what do you?
I
What do you define?
I could. The story of my story of first time getting laid is actually a hilarious story. So I mean, it is a pretty long one. I could tell that too. Like eventually.
You're
It's a good
eventually
one.
gonna tell the
It's a good
story
one.
where me and you're trying to go get this hand job or blow job from Haley Mann, and the fucking drivetrain breaks in your
Not
foot.
Haley, man.
Was it Haley?
Hannah Prunty.
Oh, Hannah. Okay. And your fucking drivetrain breaks on the ride there,
But-
and we fucking sat in the car and
Yeah. Definitely not using names for any of those
Right.
stories.
Correct. Of course.
Yeah.
Call her
Cunty
Vanna
Brunty. That's all I know.
Vanna Parenti.
No. Negative.
Hannah Hunty. Yeah. Do you remember your first date? Was it a good?
Are we doing it? Because this feels organic, so.
Do you remember the specifics of the day? Do you remember the day? Do you remember where you went? Do you remember what you like?
Who-
Your thoughts?
Your thoughts about them, about the date, your parents dropping you off somewhere or whatever. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I think this will be funny.
you can do this. You got this.
All right. So
All right. So I'm just gonna.
get started.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it started.
Okay.
We're live.
Oh, welcome to the basement. I'm Larry.
I'm
Glenn.
Josh. No, you go.
So we were just talking
I'm Josh.
about.
Oh wait, that's not right.
So to the listeners, we were just talking about first dates and maybe like experiences that we've had with that. Maybe some specifics.
Yeah, mine was just last year.
Glenn started laughing when he started thinking of his, so I think we're gonna make him tell his story.
I was laughing because it's embarrassing.
Oh, that's the best kind of laugh.
All right. So, you guys remember back when we were in 8th grade? And
Barely.
I did that whole musical production for that one girl.
Victoria.
Yeah, Vicky. So,
Wait.
nothing.
Victoria.
Oh yeah. I should back up here. So I was, let's see, in 8th grade I was 13, right? So I had started playing guitar like a year before. I went to 8th grade, and when I started 8th grade with Josh and Larry, I had just moved to a new school, and
And he lied to everyone and told everyone that he was from the UK.
I didn't think anybody would think that was serious.
I just found out that he's not from the UK.
I was born in Indiana.
13 years
everybody,
later.
to clear the record.
Let's see that fucking birth certificate, boy.
Why is your middle name Hussein? Okay, so anyway, when we were in 8th grade, I started liking this girl named Vicky. We use names.
Vicky.
Yeah, just don't finish it. It's alright.
Anyway, she had a boyfriend, which I did not care about.
As they always do.
And so we had an 8th grade talent show, and I brought my guitar and my friend who played drums, and played some "Are You Gonna Be My Girl" by Jet. And of course, she broke up with her boyfriend, because who wouldn't?
I mean,
But really,
it
nothing.
was Jet.
Yeah.
It was 2007, 6.
2006.
Who
Yeah.
wasn't gonna fall for that? How is that not gonna work?
So basically, nothing happened with that until like right after that happened, which was in the spring, and it was like real on again or off again. Anyway, that summer, it was on again, and so
It was on.
she was taking horse riding lessons right down the street from where I lived.
It must be fate.
And I don't know, I was talking to her on MSN Messenger or something, and she was telling me this. So one day I walked over there and I said hi to her, and then I asked her mom if she could come over to my house,
Wait, why her mom?
because her mom was there to pick her up.
Okay. Did she agree to this?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so,
Was
yeah.
this like a
Okay.
prearranged deal? Or what's did you like sweeten the pot with a goat, or?
Well, so
Okay, so we can skip the specifics
May
for
have
now.
been a goat. Anyway, so yeah, she came over. I don't know, it was that day. Maybe it was like a couple days after that. And anyway, I had never had really a girlfriend at that point, and so I was nervous as fuck.
Needless to say.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to do because all I did was sit in my house and play guitar and video games all day. And I'm like, what do girls like? So
Video games and guitars, right?
So what I thought would be interesting to show her was on our satellite TV, we had these crappy games, and one of them was a UFO abducting cows. You could play with your remote.
What?
So I was like, hey, you want
So
to
you just showed her your shittiest video game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had also never kissed a girl at that point.
Uh-huh.
So I showed her that, and then we
You
were...
showed her kissing?
No, I just showed her.
Oh.
She showed me kissing.
Oh.
We were watching
She taught you good.
TV or something. Yeah, we were just hanging out, and then she just, bam, French kisses me, and I was like, whoa, because I was totally caught off guard, but not unwilling. But in my infinite wisdom, I was like, "Whoa, tongue action!" out loud, and she got so mad at me.
No, what?
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, you don't want to do this? Fine." And I was like, "No, it's not that."
You blew it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then I sat all by myself, and I thought, "What have I done?"
Oh no.
So that was really, I don't know if that was really a date, but that was my first romantic experience with a girl.
Mhm.
That was tragic to listen to.
That was tragic.
That was tragic to relive.
I really expected more from that. And then she just went home, or
Yeah, then
you guys
she went
continued abducting cows, or
home. No, well,
What was
she-
the aftermath of this?
Yeah, she went home after that, and then was like, "Whatever, I don't like you because you're weird and didn't want to kiss me."
Oh.
And I'm like, "No, I'm like, that's not what it was at all. I just didn't expect that." Oh, and for some reason, everybody thought I was like some huge player at school, which was not true. And so that was definitely not working in my favor.
Well, yeah, okay, I can see that.
So anyway, eventually she got over it or realized that I was just stupid.
Do you guys remember when player or playa was like the common terminology for just boys? Pretty
Yeah,
much like
in 2006.
just like always, like just you were just always being categorized as a player, even though like you're just like, I don't know what that means, but sure, yeah, like whatever it takes, like.
Oh
It's too
man.
good.
Yeah, everybody. Oh, her best friend was like, "Why are you just trying to get every girl's pants here?" And I'm like, "What?"
I feel like she's
I'm
projecting.
like, I guess so.
I mean, at that time maybe we were wearing girls' pants. That's possible, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
It was
in,
2006.
the emo scene,
Yeah.
2006. I did wear girls' pants at least once.
Back in the day when they were not categorized as skinny jeans and they were just
Can't
female
relate.
pants.
That whole party didn't hit me until I was in my 20s.
It hit me and then it came back
Yeah.
when I was like, "This isn't a phase. This is who I am."
Yeah.
When you realize that there is
Well-
a reason why you wore men's pants, because they specifically made groin situations where you can fit your junk in, as opposed to females where the zipper line was like 1.5 inch long.
But I do not know how girls wear girl pants.
Well, first of all, they're incredibly stretchy.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know how they
go for
deal
that.
with the pockets
Still.
thing, man.
Yeah.
How they wear just tight clothes in general.
They don't have balls to get pinched in their pants.
I mean, like tight clothes.
Oh, okay, okay. Because
Oh.
it's very close. Have you felt their clothes? They're very soft.
Very soft,
Oh,
very
always.
stretchy.
But still,
They're
I-
socks. My goodness. They look like this. Look like child socks, right? And then
Mhm.
they just.
I got one of Christina's socks on right now.
I saw the Morty sock, but what's the other one?
Is it a sloth sock?
Sloths drinking coffee.
Next time on the podcast.
Sock Christina.
reviews.
Sloths drinking coffee was what I was going for.
Next podcast, we all wear women's clothing and review them. This cashmere shirt, let me tell you about it.
Forever
Oh,
21.
vintage.
I want to wear this shirt. 5-ever 21.
Let's talk about how
But I can't because it's made in China and it's already falling apart.
this turtleneck makes my Adam's apple look so small.
All right, Josh, do you have a first date experience?
Oh,
like
Lord.
a very specific first date experience?
You know, I'm sure at some point my first date really was something in the 4th grade, but you know, it's hardly a clean. Like I don't, my memory of that is so little, and really it felt like just everyone was just dating everyone at that point. Like you just showed up to a birthday party and just started holding hands with girls. Like it just seemed like everybody was just kind of swingers at 4th grade. But yeah, no, I definitely, I could definitely think of maybe the first time I like went somewhere. I think that's
yeah,
gonna be.
as like a budding adult.
Yes.
That's definitely the experience I want to hear.
Well, I don't know if I was an adult. I was definitely like
No,
13 or something.
well,
but yeah.
you know, I mean, we all come to we start realizing our adult emotions when we
Sure.
start hitting our teenagers.
Yeah, hard
right?
penises. Yeah. Yeah. About 13. Sounds about right. Yeah. I remember, I was in I was like the non-gay friend that was always friends with girls. I just always had like
Same.
a squad of girls that I was just hanging out with at all times. And yeah, at no point were they really ever that attractive, or did I like have any certain kind of feelings for them, but I knew they were girls, and I knew
It's the
that
way of the road.
I needed to hang out with them, right? Like, you're just like, these are girls, I need to be with these people. Like, so, yeah, I remember going to a movie. I remember getting that nice, awkward drop-off, the no text messaging at that point, right? No phones, like, no, like I probably had a mobile phone, maybe.
How did the pickup go though? Like how?
Ooh.
Like how? Yeah. How was? Who drove you?
Ooh, grandma, of course.
Yes. Okay.
Mima,
Yeah.
picking me up
Uh-huh.
in the red Isuzu Amigo. Who
Nice.
knew that was so coveted of a vehicle 10 years ago? I wish I would have known. We would have kept that and made it an off-road monster. But yes, definitely.
Side note: the Isuzu Via Cross. You guys ever seen one of those?
Do tell.
Let me pull this up.
Okay. So what was the decision? Do you remember what you wore, or like
Oh, man.
picking out the clothes that you had to wear?
Ooh, that's spicy. What is that?
There's a guy who lives on a couple streets over that has.
That
one of
looks like
these.
a giant toy. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like toy cars, and that's exactly what one would look like in my
Ooh.
mind.
Remember when this is 2018?
No, they stopped making
Oh.
these in like 2001.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that
definitely
is
looks like it was
strange.
stuck back then, because remember when they didn't know how to make headlights?
True.
Pretty much all the way up until like 2005.
Audi showed everyone in the world what headlights should look like,
Yes,
and everyone
correct.
was like, "Oh, yep." Yeah.
Yes, okay, so
I'd rock crawl into Isuzu Via Cross.
So, it was a match made in trailer park heaven, right? We were living in the trailer at the time. I felt like the only girls I could talk to and really realistically get with were girls that were in trailer parks also, I guess. So,
Wait, how old were you?
13.
Okay.
So we rolled through with the Isuzu cassette tape. I remember putting in Kids Alternative or something like that, like
Bot 3.
like just like I don't know, probably just like 20 songs of Red Hot Chili Peppers, I assume. I don't know, like really realistically, but yeah, just throwing that in. My grandma just shifting gears with a donut in one hand, a cigarette in the other, while also drinking Diet Pepsi, like just like ready to go, like
Did
doing all.
Did
the
you
things.
roll up in the back seat, or were you in the passenger
Oh,
seat?
I was definitely in the passenger seat, and I remember picking her up, and she was like dressed to the nines for no fucking reason, like just
Your
we were
grandma
ju-
was?
no, the girl.
Probably her first date.
Yeah, first date for sure. Like
So-
crimped hair. Like mom did makeup for her. Like I'm over here just like I showered and put deodorant on for like the first time in my life. And so we roll up, and I try to pretend to be a gentleman and open the door, fold the seat forward, because this was one of those non-four-door SUVs. Fold it forward, let her get in the back, and then I just slammed it and hopped into the front anyway. So now it's turned into like a 2006 Uber ride, right? Like, and she's back there like twiddling her thumbs, like trying to figure out why I'm not back there holding her hand or doing something, right? And oh man. So we go to LaPorte's Finest movie theater, yeah? You guys remember, did you guys go there, were fortunate enough to attend this dump
No,
of a place?
Not one time.
Well, it had gone through countless owners, and eventually they just could not figure out how to get rid of the vomit smell in there.
I thought it came that way. When
Dude, it just came that way. It was just like notoriously vomity smelling, and the floors were
Always
unreal sticky. Like,
Every
so
spot on the
fucking
floor.
sticky. Like, carpet shouldn't be sticky, dude. I don't get it. Like, You would sit there for an hour and a half movie, and then your shoes would come off of your feet. It was so sticky.
Why
I
are you
remember
mopping
that
the carpet?
fondly.
Yes. You know, and at this point, you know, I'm mowing lawns. I got a solid $12 in my pocket or something like that, right? Like just balling. Get that $1.50 bucket of popcorn. This wasn't a Cinemark or a AMC or anything like that, so it wasn't like $9, $1.50. Shitty popcorn.
These were different times.
Different times. Nickel for pop. No. But yeah, so I really genuinely don't even remember. Of course, it wouldn't have been a good date if I would have remembered what movie it was, right? Like the whole time I was just trying to court her and like romanticize with her instead of like watch
Do I
any
hold
movie.
hands now?
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
it was
yes.
Maybe it was the Rugrats movie. I don't remember what it was, man. It was something. But so yeah, so roll up, you know, get dropped off. Got to do that awkward moment where you have to decide whether you just tell your grandmother, someone that's raised you all your life, you just don't tell her you love her as she leaves, or you just man up and do it like real quick, or like do you kiss or what's going on. But I remember like slam the door and just like just the quickest like one word, one syllable. Love you, peace out, get the fuck out of my face, like. So, you know, my grandma was cool, so she didn't come see the movie with us or go see another movie. She just dipped, like, I don't know, maybe she hit the bar. I don't know what she was doing. Probably went grocery shopping or something in between, right? So, so we go in and no adults, no supervision. Me and her hanging out. Now it's like, feels like a whole different story, right? Because she was in the car, my grandma was in the car, you know, I wasn't, you know, hi, how's it going? Just the niceties, but I didn't, you know, nothing crazy, no touching or anything like that. But boom, walk out, boom, hands, locked, instant, hard, just grab it, holding hands. Like, it was almost expected. Like, if I hadn't done it, I would have just been a bitch. Like, she would have went to school, 7th grade year, just been like, this dude didn't even grab my hand. What a scaredy cat, you know? Like, that's what we were afraid of. We were afraid of them going back and just, like, telling them, like, he didn't know how to kiss. It's like, yeah, I'm 13. Why would I know how to kiss? Why do I know that I need to be holding your hand? But yeah, boom, hands locked, walking inside, get the popcorn, being served by probably like a 15-year-old, looking just 30 to me, just like, look at this 30-year-old give me popcorn.
Yeah, that's true.
Just pimples and just glasses, and he's got $12, I got $12. Like, I'm just. Shit, man. Back then, minimum wage was probably like $5.50 or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was getting paid.
Woo,
Yeah,
spicy.
$5.25 or something like that. Yeah, that's not a lot.
So yeah, we go in, and I'm a G. You know, I'm at this point. I already got like a poem in my pocket written down. Right? You know how it is. You know, like I'm into the poetry. I thought being romantic, that was the thing. You know. We're raised all our lives like, oh, romance is dead. I didn't know what it meant, but all I knew was poetry, chocolates, flowers. Do it. Do those things. So I had it. The poem was Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. Maybe you don't know the poem. Maybe you do. You know the poet.
Yeah.
Shit's not going to be romantic like you think it's going to
Isn't
be.
it about a girl that drowns or something?
Exactly. Something like that. Some dark-ass, dead, death, destruction, female. All I knew was it had a woman's name in it, and it sounded cool, and it was talking about missing a girl. Like, I was like, yep.
Can I pull it up?
Check.
Is
Pull it up.
This is in the common domain, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
So I, amidst the credits, now credits not as important, or the trailer's not as important as it is nowadays, right? But back then, yeah, just credits and commercials and whatever else was going on. And I'm reading this to her. And, you know, obviously, my eyes are glazed. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just reading words off. I know how to read. I have literacy. Like, that's about it. And she's just looking at me like, yep, like, nobody's ever done this before. This seems legit. Hit me with an excerpt. And give me some mood with it. I need Edgar Allan Poe's soul in this one.
All right.
And now we'll be performing Annabelle Lee, featured by Glenn.
It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that, long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle Lee, so that her high-born kinsmen came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, absolutely. Shit was happening.
So
That's how I felt.
The angels were so envious that they sent her some sort of terminal disease and she died.
Correct.
And
And
was
that's-
buried in a tomb by the ocean.
And that's what I was implying was going to happen to her, and she didn't know it.
That's so romantic.
It felt romantic at the time. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe it was. We'll do a poll. Girls, is that romantic?
Follow us on Instagram
Okay,
and we can
alright.
answer the
So
poll.
that's during. So when the movie starts,
Ooh. Oof. When the movie starts, so does the wandering of the hands, right? So, so at first it's palm sweaty.
Wait, your hands or her hands? Was she all of a sudden trying to pluck that banana from the banana tree?
what's your move before that? Because what I always do is I reach to the middle and go.
No,
With
dude.
the-
No, man. I hit it with the.
Oh, classic.
Woo!
That's spicy.
And honestly, popcorn lap. Now, nobody told me I had
Was
to cut
there
a
a
hole
hole
in the box.
Step
Nobody-
one. Hole in the box.
Yeah, nobody told me about that. Nobody told me about that part. So it was a amateur move, but popcorn in the lap,
Not
Yeah.
amateur if it's salted.
right? So arm reached over. It's 3 p.m. I'm so tired at this point, right in the middle of the day.
Gross.
Boom. And she embraced it. I was so surprised, right? I mean, but
She's seen those movies. She knew what
she
was
knew
supposed
what
to
she
do.
was supposed to do.
Well, here's the deal.
We're both acting out the Notebook, you
Yeah,
know.
well,
that's-
girls. What we didn't know back then is girls liked us as much as we like
Correct.
them. Yeah, they just put it in our minds that they didn't like us. But at
Yes.
the end of the day, they wouldn't be there as much as we wanted to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, so every move that she made, I was like, what?
Yeah, right. Like,
You
this is
too?
supposed to-
Yeah, surprise Pikachu.
So yeah, boom, arm over the shoulder. And an hour and a half passes. And I make no other moves. And I'm just sweating to death.
I didn't think I'd make it this far.
I didn't know what to do next. No, seriously, like the reason I don't remember this movie is because every 10 minutes I was thinking, do I do it now? Do I do it now? And to this day, I still think those words. Do I do it now?
You could never be too sure, to be honest.
Right. But I've learned now that you don't verbally ask them because at the end of the movie I said, "Do you want to kiss now?" Like, I could tell, I had the visual cues on the movie that the movie was ending, right? You could, happy story is coming along, and, the climax is over, we're riding off to the sunset, and I'm like, should we kiss now?
Well, actually, I think that nowadays that's what you're supposed to ask, right?
Oh, you're right, yes, absolutely.
No,
You get
it's
accused
not,
of being a
it's
raper.
not do we, it's can I.
Yeah, may I, miss, please? Well, don't want to assume your gender, but may I?
And if the
Press
answer
my
is
lips.
yes,
Zim, sir.
I've already had this page notarized.
If you could just fill the consent form here, and then the NDA here. But yeah, so So yeah, so classic Prince Charming move. I ask her if we're supposed to kiss, and she nuzzles her nose into mine and she kisses me. And now, male insecurities have come about. Is she gonna go to school and tell everyone that she had to kiss me and she had to make the move? I couldn't even enjoy the kiss because I was so not sure if this was the right way to play it, right? Like now I'm like, oh, she has made me a bitch. Like at this point it's like, so we get married, you're proposing to me, and this is what's happening. Like you wear the pants of the relationship. At this point she has all the power. And yeah, so we get the kiss out of the way, and then it's like everything's like I'm elated, right? And just as I start to feel like I'm like working up the courage to do anything else or to make any more moves on my own, the movie's over. Lights pull up. Now you've got families everywhere and stuff, and it, you're told that like PDA and that isn't. Yeah, and I failed to make the move. I failed to make any moves. And
Hey, you did the arm thing. That's cool.
right, yeah, that's a score hit point for the home team there, right? Like, yeah, and we got up and wow, that movie was pretty good. Nodded in agreement, and went out.
See you later.
Well, no, she was riding with me, right? So went out, and my grandma was already there.
Did you get in the back seat with her this time?
I did not actually. No, it felt super awkward, and we didn't say anything. And we got in the car, and my grandma asked me if we enjoyed the movie, and it was like a very loud nod.
Dude, you guys live in the same neighborhood, correct?
No, two different trailer parks actually.
Oh, damn. Because I was going to say, like, depending on the time of year, y'all could have just chilled, like, just walked around or something like that. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Nope, it was over. Because that was our time alone, and that was what was made of it.
Did you talk to her after that much?
Then I started talking to her friend, and then I took her out to the movies probably the next weekend, so...
Ooh, boy.
And I did not...
Speaking of players...
And I did not make the same mistake twice. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at least that story has a happy ending. Actually, that reminded me of a time when I was 16. I was talking to this girl from LaPorte, and this was actually like the second time we hung out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so I picked her up, and we went to this park in LaPorte, and we were hanging around, just playing on this park, and it was pretty fun.
Playing?
Yeah.
Oh, like on the equipment?
Yeah, on the equipment.
Okay.
I did get a kiss at the end. That was cool.
Ooh,
But
woo!
I also slipped on this wooden balance beam, and I got some big splinters in my ass. So I went home after I dropped her off, and my mom had to pull them out for me.
Wait. I want to put on the record, he did say 16 at the beginning of this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The day when I do not need my mother is the day I die.
True.
Or the day that she is dead.
No.
Nope.
Nope. I'll still need her when she's dead.
Alright, Larry.
Yeah, your turn.
So let's hear it.
Oh man, mine is
Ooh,
tragic. But first, before I start this, a moment of silence for all the men who have crippling self-doubt and spend the first 90 minutes of a movie thinking whether he should make a move or not. Because that's me every first date with every woman I've ever had a first date with. I just sit there and I'm like, I can't even think about what's going on in front of me because all I'm thinking is, you should move your head, you should... But instead, I'm just sitting here like this with my hands in my lap.
Quite literally crippling doubt.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
feel actually
like,
debilitated.
mm-hmm. Like,
yes.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling.
Yes.
You like start like visibly sweating because you're like because you're just going through all the possibilities in your head. But literally, she's already there with you. She probably wants you to touch
She has
her.
already like accepted the agreement.
Yes.
Her name is on the line.
Why is this guy shaking uncontrollably?
sometimes I wonder
It's a medical condition.
if they could tell that my breathing is also heavier, like since we've been
Breathing? You do breathing? It's more like, no, it's crippling, bro. It's literally. It's one nostril breathing, just short one nostril.
I was always afraid that my nostrils would make a whistling noise. And the thing just went right out the mouth. Just...
You know what happens when I get nervous? My head starts to rush and my nose starts to run every time. So
Oh, God.
by the time I decide to actually go in for the first kiss,
Snot
my
nose
nose
kiss.
is already running. You know how many times I've done this one? If I hold her face, it's because I'm gonna wipe the top.
You're so beautiful right now. I'm not crying, you're crying. Oh man,
Oh,
shit.
man.
Alright, let's hear it. Let's
What's
hear
in
the
my
tragedy.
hair? It's just hair gel.
Oh,
And to be fair, it's not like boogs, it's that like watery stuff that like runs, you know, like when
It's
you're
boogs.
eating spicy stuff. You know, it's like thick green mucus.
It's
Bugs.
actually one of the mucinex people that live in your
The
nose.
mucinex.
Oh, man.
man. My first legit date. This is real sad. My first legit date.
We don't have to say any dates or any years.
Didn't happen until I already had wheels.
Training wheels?
Training.
Yes. You know, I got my big wheel and pedaled my ass down the end of the street. Oh,
And you were
man.
also 18.
No, I was not as cool as these guys. I didn't have any romantic life in the middle school. I was actually the antithesis of romantic life in the middle school.
Hey, you want to play Final Fantasy and watch the Colts play football?
I mean,
I
if you
actually didn't even watch football at that
Oh,
point.
shit.
I had no knowledge of football at that point in my
Oh.
life. Like I didn't. What I did with my time was, man, nothing. I feel like I did nothing. Like I wasn't building any skills. I wasn't.
Much like today, really.
that was basically my life until I was 23 or 24.
Yeah, alright, absolutely. Once your
Alright.
head like gets removed out of your ass a little bit, you're like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I started building skills like late, like maybe once I was 16. It was just like, you know, you just passively you start learning things just because you have to start doing things. Like,
Yeah.
Correct.
You get a job, you
need
learn
for
how to-
things
yeah,
increase.
Well, you learn your job. You get a job. You have to learn the skills that, like, I was a pizza chef by that time. By the time I had already for a year at that point. Like I was already like.
Dude, I remember
hand
that cash
tossing
money
pizza.
and that greasy head.
Yeah.
I remember you having money and greasy hair. Like, dude, you were like, like, dude, this sucks. Working in the summertime, 90 degrees outside, 150 degrees inside. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. We just left the door. I mean, 500-degree ovens that were open like a third of the time. It's
Ugh.
hot sizzle, dude.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, so my first date wasn't until I had already had wheels,
Mhm.
and it was with this like freshman girl.
Well, hold on, pause. Let's talk about these wheels for a minute.
Oh, I learned how to drive stick with my first vehicle, and it was a '93 GMC Sonoma. It was
2
red.
years older than or younger